the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing red trunks with dark blue trim from Stockton, California. He weighed in at a ready 153 and 1/2 pounds. With a record of 24 wins and 2 losses, he has 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the WBO #1 ranked junior middleweight contender, introducing the challenger, Smooth Rodney Jones. And his opponent across the ring. On my left is the defending world champion fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing blue trunks with gold trim. As the very first world champion to come from his home country, he proudly represents Walvis Bay, Namibia. He weighed in at the limit of 154 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with 19 wins, no losses, 16 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making the 3rd defense of his title. Please welcome the undefeated WBO junior middleweight champion of the world, the Terminator, Harry Simon. Let's get a referee in charge, Mark Nelson, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of boxing scheduled.
Gentlemen, you've already received your instructions in the dressing room for the WBO junior middleweight title. I expect a clean championship fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves. Good luck to both of you.
Well, this fight was due to have taken place in February in London, but Jones was injured on that occasion, so it goes on now. And Dean Powell there, working in the corner with Harry Simon. Simon's done a lot of his training in London. In fact, he's fought in Britain, I think it's 8 times in his career. We've seen plenty of him. He's blown hot and cold, quite honestly. I reckon he's one of those fighters who just needs to be properly motivated for his fight. So Simon here defending the title against the smooth, as he calls himself, and crafty, slick southpaw, Rodney Jones, 32 years of age. His chance coming late. Gangling, isn't he, Jones?
He's very tall, very long, and will the southpaw stance, the quick, slick southpaw stance of Jones give Simon any problems? I think you're right, Ian. I think Simon is the sort of fighter. We've seen him not look that good on a few occasions, but he's the sort of fighter when he's put in on the big tests, he pulls out and he comes out with the business.
Jones will try to pile up the points behind that right lead. Simon's job to get inside it. Oh, and he hits her with the right hand. Harry Simon, who was particularly impressive when taking this title from the high-class Ronald Winky Wright, who went on to give Fernando Vargas a real scare. In fact, some people who saw that fight I've spoken to thought that Wright won it. So that's a great result. That really was for Harry Simon, but he's been plagued by injury problems and inactivity since then. What do we see from him here?
He's looking for the right shot, trying to bring in an overhand right, just bring that punch round, and he's catching Jones as he did there.
Already the impression that Jones is going to need a little more than just that jab. Once or twice in the past, his critics have said, yep, he's got smooth skills, but he's a bit robotic.
He was trying to get that jab off, but Simon was catching it in his glove.
Just as well he's not boxing at the Olympics, this Rodney Jones, because I don't think I saw one jab given a point at the Olympic Games. He's keeping Simon quite effectively at range so far, although occasionally the champion's got there with a right hand or two.
Well, you're right, Ian. He'll need a bit more than that jab, because Simon, is kind of picking that off, catching that, and will be looking to just try and walk through that jab. He needs to bring something else into play, Jones.
He'll need to slip some of these right hands that Simon's bringing in as well. Slip them or parry them or something. So what did you like in this round? The jabbing and skills of Jones or the right hands of Simon? Second round here in Ontario. Blue trunks of the defending WBO's light middleweight champion Harry Simon, the only world champion ever from Namibia, where he's a big mate of the top sprinter Frankie Fredericks. Rodney Jones from Stockton, California, getting his first world title chance in the red trunks. Can he keep Simon away from him? He's throwing some big cannonballs with that right hand all the time, Simon. Jones coming into this fight, 24 wins, couple of defeats. But he's unbeaten in 7 years and 19 fights.
Yes, he obviously has some ability, but he'll need to against Simon. Simon, a very good fighter. He's just trying to find his way, not using his own jab that much, just pretty much relying on his right hand.
He obviously reckons that Jones leaves himself open for that, he might be right as well. Simon himself unbeaten in 19 fights, 16 wins inside schedule. This is his third defense of the title. One of them against Britain's Kevin Lushing in 3 rounds.
Nice left uppercut going in there from Jones. Other than that, he's pretty much just relying on that jab, which at times is falling short, and Simon's able to pick out of the air.
He's going to have to bring some other punches into the mix, Rodney Jones. Which, to be fair to him, occasionally he has done with left hand in this round. I think you can say that the battle lines are pretty clearly drawn here. It's a great countering left hand, wasn't it, by Jones there? Well picked.
Yes, I think Simon's just getting a bit frustrated. He's coming forward, he's walking onto a couple of punches there from Jones.
Rodney Jones doing rather well in this second round. Simon with 1 or 2 problems against this beanpole of a man from California.
Yes, there's another good left hand going in there from Jones. He's catching Simon coming in.
Looking a bit wild at times, Simon. Lunging forward, but out of range and inaccurate with some of those shots, and I think that's Rodney Jones around.
Okay, you gotta move.
Well, they're telling Rodney Jones in the corner there that he must present a mobile target. But he didn't do badly in that second round, that's for certain. Harry Simon in the blue trunks. Just one of the world champions in this light middleweight division. The 2 big stars are Fernando Vargas and Felix Trinidad, and they meet in a real humdinger on December the 2nd. Simon would love to get himself into that kind of mix with all the money that would be coming his way if he did.
Well, to get in that sort of mix, he needs to be impressive in fights like that. That's the only way he's going to really get the big money fights.
A little bit of damage by the right eye for Rodney Jones, nothing much.
But Simon is just trying a bit too hard for me. He's telegraphing some of his punches. He's a bit wild.
He does have the hand speed, mind you, Simon. If he gets close enough, the left hand getting through as well. Quite obviously, Jones needs to keep the fight at range. Has to keep on throwing that jab so that all the time Simon's thinking of coming into attack, he just kept off balance.
He's chasing hard, Simon, but still not, you know, the accuracy's not there. He's not landing with his punches.
It's a fair effort so far from Rodney Jones. It's come late in his career. He intends to take it. He's been a pro now for 9 years. How much weight are the judges giving to these jabs from Jones? Blocked that right hand as well from Simon.
Both times he's going to need to show a bit more aggression in the fight. The jab is good. He's picking Simon off and catching him coming in, but he needs to, you know, to switch it up and then start being on the offensive.
Simon from the tough Walvis Bay in Namibia, though these days he lives in Johannesburg. Really gets the treatment back at home in Namibia as well. Welcome back to the Casino Rama in Ontario. Harry Simon, blue trunks, Rodney Jones, the challenger in red. WBO light middleweight championship on the line here. And it's quite a tight fight this so far, with an interesting contrast in styles.
Well, Simon's struggling to try and make an impression.
And down he goes, but the referee says that is not a knockdown.
Yes, he just threw himself off balance there, just a slip for Simon. But I think that shows, you know, how hard he's trying to throw his punches, that he gets himself off balance. And I think that's a sign of frustration creeping in for Simon.
Could do with a tad more variety, Glenn.
Yes, I think he needs to try something different. You know, put his punches together a little more conventionally. You know, he's leading with right hooks, and I don't really feel that's the answer.
But as he just found out there, it's hard to get there with the jab. Can't reach.
Yes, it is, but he needs to start throwing his punches in combination. He needs to double up on the jab.
I guess all the left hook then, and then a right to the body. More effective that from Simon. Then he did try something different. Just angry under the right eye. Little blemish and swelling for Jones. Simon, the younger man by 5 years at 27. Oh. Simon doing the better work and more effective work so far in this session.
He's trying to assert himself. He's trying to press home. He's going to try and nullify that jab of Jones. And by doing this, by being aggressive, that's what he's starting to do.
This is the best yet for Harry Simon. Frustrating man to fight, but he's beginning to get in range and land with some meaty-looking headshots. Simon, who calls himself the Terminator. Not the first boxer to think of a nickname like that. But this is more encouraging for the champion in this round. He's starting to impose himself here on Rodney Jones. Left hook again, lands. And he got himself in a mess there, Jones. That was clearly Simon's round. I've got the fight level at the moment. I just gave Jones the first round. I gave him the second and Simon the other two. What about you, Glenn?
I've got Simon 1 point over. Just give him that on the last round where he finally started to assert himself. He knew what to do. Just, maybe he took the first 3 rounds to try to puzzle Jones out and get past that jab. And then in the last round, he started to assert himself, get the combinations going, get in close, and not give Jones the time or the room to get his jab working.
Here's round 5. Blue trunks of Harry Simon, who did a fair bit of work at the Peacock Gym during his time in Britain. He's the youngest of 7 children from the Ovambo people in Namibia. He was paid just £40 for his first fight, and he grew up on the streets with minimal education and used to sleep in the gym early on in his career. Came up the hard way, all right, Simon, so he'll be relishing this time as a champion, and he'll want to keep it that way as well, because that's where the money is.
Combination from Jones. He's trying to go on the attack.
Real Spider-Man of a light middleweight, this Rodney Jones. If he could just mix up some slashing left-hand punches to go with that right lead, maybe he could be in some serious business here. Referee, by the way, is Mark Nelson here. A fellow you might not have seen too much of before. And it's interesting, this, all the time it's at range, Jones basically looks the boss. Once Simon gets in range, he's all over the challenger.
Jones' main punch is that jab, and Simon's got to try and nullify that, which he did by throwing combinations in the last round. That's what he's got to try and do again.
So far, this second round has been as good for Jones. Sorry, the 5th round has been as good as the second was. Really good effort from him. Corner have obviously said, look, keep him away, keep him on the end of the jab, keep working. When you stop, he's on you like a tiger.
Trying to get the punches on, looking for that right hand, but still wild at times.
Jones is going to have to keep up a phenomenal work rate, you sense here, if he's to have a chance of coming away with the World Championship. That's a great left hand from Jones too. Doesn't look out of place at this level.
Now listen, breathe deep. Tuck that wind up. Now listen to me. It's time to put, listen. It's two of them now, go on. Right, good. Now listen. You've got to start putting a show on for these people, okay? Now listen. Don't fight the fight at his pace. Make him fight the fight at your pace, okay? He can go all day long flicking that pretty little jab out.
Dean Powell has come a long way since he was blowing glass in Wolverhampton in the factory.
Keep to your left,
He certainly has. And give him the right advice there. He wants him to lift the pace, make him fight at his pace. And he's got to do that. He's got to get past that jab. He's got to up his whole effort.
Here's round 6. I've got Jones just ahead at this point. In the red trunks, the challenger from Stockton in California, which is in the San Francisco area, up in the north of the Sunshine State. Fight the fight at your pace, they were telling Simon in the corner. Struggling to shine here, isn't he?
Yes, he is. It's difficult against a southpaw, and a very good technical southpaw who's good behind that jab. That's making it difficult for Simon.
before this fight, Jones had won the North American Boxing Organization Championship and defended it 5 times. That's kind of satellite organization linked to the WBO. That's why he's got his chance, I guess. Again, very well worked, that left hand. Simon with obvious problems with the reach and the southpaw style.
Well, he has been quite well schooled. Jones throws that jab very well, and when he brings that straight left hand in, that's a good punch.
Growing in confidence, you sense as well at this point in the fight. Is Simon running out of ideas? Is there a danger his title could slip away here in Canada?
I think he needs to really try and look at cutting the ring off more, Simon. He's tending to follow Jones around.
Starting to block those right hands now, Jones. Which is why Simon might need to vary his repertoire a little. This is a really good spell in the fight for Rodney Jones.
Yes, he's keeping center ring, he's keeping his punches going, working well behind the jab, and bringing other shots like that in close into play.
Simon is just getting outboxed at the moment. What can he do about it? Needs to get in range, starting to let go with some right hand humdingers. One of them got through, I think, but certainly not all of them. He's trying to come on strong in the last half minute of the round, the old pro's trick. But it didn't ought to fool the judges, because I think this has been Jones's round. Certainly the first 2.5 minutes were. Round 8 here now. Harry Simon. Blue Trunks needing to pick things up. Might just be trailing on the scorecards. Might be. That 7th, I think, was probably an even round, Glenn.
Well, he's come out this one, they need to do something. So I think, the corner, Dean Powell in there, angry at him, and he's telling him he's got to do more. He's got to pick this up.
It's an absorbing battle, this. Still not very precise, Simon.
He's found this style difficult.
You have to say, on what we've seen here, he's not in the same league as Vargas and Trinidad at the moment, is he?
No, you wouldn't think so. I mean, he has been out at times through injury, and probably needs to be a bit busier.
And the question rather arises with Dean Powell working the corner there. Where's Brian Mitchell, the old world champion who was training him earlier on in his career? Seems to have disappeared. There were stories early in his career with Simon. He was described by one of his connections as rude, indisciplined and arrogant. So I don't know if there's been a run-in with Brian Mitchell.
Simon's doing well, but Jones just come through with a good combination there. He's got a decent style, this Rodney Jones, and you just wonder if he, if he'd had his chance a little earlier.
Simon at least looking to get a bit closer. Score with that left hook there. But it's proving a hard work defense of the title, this, for Simon. And it's no formality whether he even gets it. It's good work again, isn't it? From Rodney Jones, big left hand, which sent Simon spiraling back against the corner.
Well, he's certainly getting a little air of authority and more confidence in his work, Rodney Jones.
This is a close fight, Glenn.
Yes, it is close.
That's good from Simon, mind you.
Get your arms in your lap. Okay.
That was a close round, that last one. I just gave it to Jones. I thought he did the best work in the first couple of minutes of the round, although Jones did some
Now listen.
very good punching
When you
late
throw
on.
the right hand, throw it straight.
Yes, I had to give that one to Rodney Jones. Simon started well trying to push it, but didn't land that well, and Jones was more precise later in the round. And yeah, I've got him just starting to get ahead, 2 points adrift now, Simon. And this was good from Jones, forcing Simon back into the corner, looking to control the fight, looking to take the fight to Simon now.
Round 9 coming up. Blue trunks of Harry Simon, the defending WBO light middleweight champion. I can't say they're not looking for any rematch with Ronald Winky Wright, and I think that's probably a good policy. Because on this form, I think Wright beats Simon in a return. Just wonder how good Simon's preparations have been for this, don't you?
Yes, you do. Mentally, he's just, he's trying a bit too hard. He's not really got his time and his accuracy.
He's looked sloppy, really, hasn't he?
Yes, he has, and he's looked as if, he hasn't really come in here with a game plan, a way of getting past his long-limbed southpaw with a good jab.
Simon needs to start picking up some rounds. Made to miss twice, the champion. Halfway through the 9th.
Doing a bit better from Simon now, landing with good right and left hook.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? That was more like it. Just a bit tentative with that jab at the moment, Rodney Jones. This is more Simon's territory, closer in.
Well, this is what he's had to do. He's got to try and box at a pace higher than Jones is willing to box at.
Disguised that right hand quite well. Last half minute coming up of the 9th, and Simon may be getting the better of the argument in this stanza.
He's doing more in this round, Simon. He's trying to outwork Jones, and he's just making that jab negative.
This is more business-like from Harry Simon. Nearly all the significant punches in this round have come from the champion. Good little riposte from Jones at the end, but too little too late, I think. So how have you got it now, Glenn?
Well, I give the last round to Simon, so I've just got to pull him back a little bit, but I've still got Jones 1 point ahead.
I've got it level now. I've given Simon the last 2. Nine minutes remaining in this. Quite tense, actually.
This is not a good performance from Harry Simon. He's never looked fluid. He's never had a good rhythm. He's always struggled to get his shots on.
Having said that, he is the erratic, inconsistent sort, isn't he? We've seen that before.
We have. At times he's looked pretty ordinary. At times he looked very, very good.
I think the corner have probably told him he needs to go out there and mop up these last few rounds if he doesn't want to really be living on his nerve ends when the decision's announced, if it goes the full way, of course. He's just stopped throwing that jab with the same authority for the moment, though, Jones, and that could spell trouble for him.
Yes, that's been a key for Jones throughout that fight, throughout this fight, using the jab well, and it hasn't had the authority. Now Simon is starting to walk through that and get his punches on.
Well, he's just pouring out the jab now, isn't he? Not throwing it with that same ramrod quality that it had earlier on.
And it was that was winning the rounds for him.
Is he tiring a little? No doubt at all that Simon's the heavier hitter of the two. Out of range suddenly with these jabs.
Yes, he's just started to pour his punches, hasn't he? Just started to push them out without really, getting any authority behind them.
Simon just stepping it up a little as he needed to do. Badly, in fact.
Yes, I think you're right. I think Jones is starting to feel the effects of this fight. He's starting to tire.
It's a shame for him, really, because he'd done so well in the first few rounds. I had him a couple of points up at one stage. But this has been another Harry Simon round, and I think now the champion just beginning to nose in front. Another good-looking right hand from him. Body punches as well. Jones has just lost the plot for a moment. He's forgotten his own strategy. Badly needs to be reminded of it by his corner when he goes back there. He goes back with heavy legs to that corner.
So I knock you out in the first 30
He's getting wild with that hand.
All right?
There's a beautiful uppercut. He
I know,
just
you
found
drink
the
the water.
distance right. Didn't look as if he really aimed for that one, but got the shot on well.
Here we go with round 11 here. A fight in which the challenger, Rodney Jones, did pretty well for the first 6 rounds or so. But Harry Simon might just have taken over. Although you've still got it level, haven't you, Glenn?
I've got a level. I've got Simon coming on strong. I've given him the last 2 rounds, but the fight on my card is still level. 96 apiece.
I've got Simon a point ahead at this stage, having given him the last 3 now. He's hurt a bit there by the left hand. Backtracking. This is a different Rodney Jones now. He somehow seems to have just lost the self-belief he had earlier on.
Yes, he needs to get that confidence back, and he needs to start using the jab. That was, the fight winner for him. That was giving Simon so much trouble, but that has almost stopped.
He'll kick himself if he gets out of here tonight, having lost in his challenge, having held the key to victory and then forgotten it. It's been a pretty poor display, though, this by Simon.
Yes, it has. He's looked ordinary in this fight.
And as if to underline the point, Jones rams in a couple of left hands. He's come to life a little bit again here, Rodney Jones.
Well, he's going to need a bit more than that. There were 2 good punches, but he needs more. He needs to start using that jab with authority.
Who knows what problems fighters have mentally and physically in there. It's all right for us to sit at ringside casting off our opinions, but it did look to me as if Jones went through a bad patch for whatever reason for 2 or 3 rounds. I guess it must be sometimes like that, Hayden. It's like a marathon runner who hits the wall for a while.
Yes, most definitely. You rely on a second wind and you get it. Sometimes you don't, and sometimes you tire badly. But now the fight's warming up. Now Jones is showing a bit of determination, taking the fight to Simon.
It might still be there for him. Who knows what the scorecards are saying? We think it's pretty close, and Jones has picked it up again in this 11th round.
Jones showing a bit of guts and determination here. He looked to be just starting to let it slip, but you know, he's grit his teeth and start coming back.
Cleaner shots, I think, from Jones in this round. He looks wild, disorganized at times even. Simon, look at that.
Pretty sloppy performance from Harry Simon. And I think I had to give Jones that round. He just landed sharper punches.
Yeah, I did too.
Listen to me.
I've got it level now.
3 minutes. Now listen, this guy's going to come at you like a
And I've
train.
got Jones
Okay,
1
listen.
point ahead.
This guy's going to come like a train, so you've got to go with him. Okay, now listen. Keep your hands up. Harry, listen to me. Get your arms in your lap.
Doesn't look as if he's listening, really, does he? Who's he looking at? He's not listening to Dean Powell. It doesn't look like it anyway.
He's not. He's struggling to get his attention. He needs to tell him. He needs to tell him. You know, it could all be on the line here, but his concentration's not there.
Don't wait on much better. They've got about 2 or 3 people talking in there. Who's he supposed to be listening to? And that's not good corner work, is it?
No, you need somebody that's speaking with authority, somebody that's going to get your attention, and somebody telling you the truth.
And here's the last round. That's the truth now. This might be tight. Could Harry Simon lose his championship here? How are the judges seeing things? Did Rodney Jones do enough early on? Has he come back to life a little too late? He really does look wild, Simon, here.
Yes, he struggled throughout this fight to get his timing, to get his shots off well.
I think the inactivity has certainly caught up with him a bit.
And Jones throwing out the arms, but not many shots landing there.
Has Rodney Jones done enough to take the title away?
Well, he's trying hard, but he's still missing the shots. Simon getting the better ones on in that exchange.
Almost desperation punches these now from Simon.
Well, he really needs to try and lift himself. He's going to hang on to his title.
Got him with a little uppercut there as Jones tried to, for once, close the range on him. Hardly used the jab at all, Simon. Just thrown big, wild hooks most of the night. Terrible punch economy. And if he holds onto his title performing like this, well, he's a lucky man, really.
And Jones trying to pick it up. Simon was throwing more shots, looked very tired.
Tough to separate them in this last round. Awful lot missing. Not much clean work here. Simon does get through with one. Back comes Jones with one.
I think they're both very tired.
It's a flurry of leather, but it might be much ado about nothing, all this, in terms of clean punches landed.
Well, Simon has tried to pick it up. He's tried to keep the arms going. Maybe he's just done a slightly a bit more, but Jones trying hard towards the end.
Two very tired fighters. The final bell, they hardly hear it. They both throw their arms aloft. And I have that fight dead level. I have it as a draw. It was a great effort, I thought, from Rodney Jones. It was a pity he had that bad patch in some of the later rounds. But Harry Simon is a long way behind Fernando Vargas and Felix Trinidad on that evidence. Glenn's scorecard, you've got it just to Simon. You've given him the last round. I couldn't separate them in the last round. I thought so much missed.
That's right. You know, just taking it on my card, but it was just an extra little bit of effort from Simon that did that.
Well, some people say that he's a hot talent and that we should be talking about him up with the top men, but frankly, not like that. Here's what the judges thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this first round of boxing, we have the majority decision. Here's the score total. Judge at ringside, Hugo Beniche, scores about 114-114, even a draw. Judges at ringside, William Boudou and Harry Davis both scores about 117-111 in favor of the winner, and still the WBO Junior Middleweight World Champion, Harry
Simon has kept the title, and two of the judges gave it to him by 6 points. What on earth were they watching? The other one had it level, which was how I saw it. 6 points? Goodness me.
Yes, that was ridiculous. It was a much closer fight than that, but I think Simon just hung on to retain his title, but he needs to do better than that.